Touching back on last week's video about gain staging, I then, on that same phone conversation with my mastering client, was showing him how you can change the metering types in Pro Tools. He was super in awe and didn't know this was possible. So I thought I'd make a video on this as well to share this information with you. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome to Distinct Mastering. My name is Freddie. I'm a mastering engineer, producer, DJ, and president of Sleeping Giant Music. For over 2 decades, I've helped artists grow their careers, and now I'm here to help you with your music production skills. Now let's chat about Pro Tools meters and how you can change the metering types. Okay, last week we discussed gain staging, and if you missed that video, I'll leave you a link up above. I suggest you go back and check that out, because this video ties right into that. If you check that video out, you notice that I talked to a client about gain staging. I also talked to that same client about metering, and I told him that you can right-click on the Pro Tools meters and change your view type. He had no idea this was even possible. So, first of all, before we get into these different types of meters, let's talk about metering itself. There is many different types of metering, but the 2 main categories you're going to find is you're going to have a peak meter or an averaged meter. So a peak meter is probably the most common that you might see in a DAW or on a mixer. It's going to show you the peak program level. It's usually typically a PPM meter is what it is. And the peak program level is going to show you the point where the peaks are hitting. So in a DAW or in the digital domain, that's very important because you don't want the peaks to go over 0. Otherwise, you clip. Now, back in the day when you used to see the old style VU meters, that is an average type of meter, or known as RMS, for root mean square. And an average type of meter is going to show you the average levels of the signal. Now, both meter types have their pros and cons, and it's good to understand both metering types so you can choose the right one for your application. Okay, let's discuss what some of these meters actually mean. The first one at the top is sample peak, which was introduced in Pro Tools 11. And this is the standard Pro Tools meter moving forward since 11. The scale and decay time of sample peak is calculated in decibels per second, which is going to result in a slower decay time than previous versions of Pro Tools. The older style meter is called Pro Tools Classic. So if you want that old school style meter that you used to use prior to Pro Tools 11, you're going to want to select this one. All right, next one on the list is called linear. Linear metering is a direct 1-to-1 linear meter of sample peaks all the way down to minus 40 decibels. Avid recommends linear metering for post-production and mixing environments. Okay guys, I've pulled up the Avid reference guide to go over the different meter types here real quick. Now, you're going to need to find one that you like to work with, but there's a lot of options to choose from. So, as you can see, you can choose from several industry standard meter types for visually monitoring audio levels. Sample peak provides the default Pro Tools metering. Now this one was introduced in Pro Tools 11 and is the current standard moving forward. The scale and the decay time is calculated in decibels per second, which results in a slower decay in metering compared to previous versions of Pro Tools. Now if you want to go back to the legacy version of metering, then you're going to want to go to Pro Tools Classic. And then linear is used for post-production and music mixing scenarios. Using a fast decay time, linear provides direct 1-to-1 linear metering of sample peaks in the audio signal with a metering range down to minus 40 dB. So that is a different scenario. If you're working in those environments, then maybe you'll want to go to linear. Linear extended is the same as linear, but extends to minus 60 dB. RMS provides metering ballistics that display the average loudness, root mean square of the signal, over a range of time. Peak metering, on the other hand, displays the peak signal levels at any given point in time. So that's the difference between RMS and a PPM meter. Now, VU meters are popular for music and dialogue mixing. You might remember seeing the old VU meters on the mixing console. The VU scale used in Pro Tools is extended on the low end from minus 23 dB to minus 40 dB to accommodate a wide range of material without the need for stage recalibration. And then you have a digital VU meter is ballistics with a modern digital scale. Now you have PPM digital, which is popular in Europe and Asia, also works with US film, and it goes on and on. You have PPM BBC, which is popular in the UK, PPM Nordic, which is a Scandinavian meter, and then you have the PPM EBU, which is the British standard. So all of those are good for broadcasts. You have PPN DIN, which is German broadcasting, and then you get into the K-type metering. The K scales are RMS-based scales with an integrated sample peak meter as a secondary value. K scales are popular with music mixers that are looking for a meaningful indication of overall loudness. The K12 should be reserved strictly for audio to be dedicated to broadcast, though broadcast engineers may choose K14 if they feel it fits their program material. K14 for mastering when working in a calibrated mastering suite. And then you have K20. Using K20 during mix encourages a clean sounding mix that is advantageous to the mastering engineer. At that point, the producer and mastering engineer should discuss whether the program should be converted to K14 or remain at K20. And then you get into the two venue peak, and RMS provides the same ballistics as sample peak, but with venue meter scaling to minus 20 dB. Provides the same ballistics as RMS, but with venue meter scaling to minus 20 dB. So those are the different meter types that you can have in Pro Tools. If you're just making music, you're probably only going to focus on a few of those. But I wanted to go over this because one of my clients had these questions, and this is a good way to give you an overview of the Pro Tools metering options. And that's a brief overview of Pro Tools metering and all of the different meter types available. If you have any questions, be sure to shoot me a comment down below. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and the bell notification will keep you up to date. Once again, my name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and have a great day.